Calling to order the Zoning Board of Adjustment, Raritan Township, New Jersey, regular scheduled meeting, March 6, 2025. Notice of meeting. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act has been satisfied by the placing of a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board at the municipal building, filing same with the township clerk, transmitting same to the Hunter County Democrat, the Courier News, the Star Ledger, and the Trenton Times. Roll call, please.
Chairman, Ms. Cynthia Schaefer.
Here.
Vice Chair, Mr. Ursula Domji.
Here.
Mr. Steve Farcio.
Here.
Mr. Randy Block.
Here.
Mr. Jim Ferrero.
Here.
Ms. Lizzie Cool-Brangel, she's asked to be excused. Ms. Lorette Cortina.
Here.
Ms. Donna Drews, also asked to be excused. Mr. James Miller.
Here.
Board Professionals, Board Attorney, Mr. John Drill.
Here.
Township Planner, Mr. Jeffrey Beccarella.
Here.
Board Secretary Taylor Vaughn, here. And all other board professionals have asked to be excused.
Can I get a motion to accept the absence of the two board members?
So moved.
Can I get a vote, please? Thank you.
I had James for the second. Sorry, Jim.
Okay,
Chairwoman, Ms. Cynthia Schaefer.
yes.
Vice Chair, Mr. Ursula Domji.
Yes.
Mr. Randy Block.
Yes.
Mr. Steve Farcio.
Yes.
Mr. Jim Ferrero. Jim.
Yeah.
Ms. Lorette Cortina.
Yes.
Mr. James Miller.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to comments and announcements, having none. Distribution correspondence, having none. Meeting minutes, none. Closed session, we'll do that at the end of the meeting. Resolution, we have one resolution for this evening. It is resolution, Raritan Township Board of Adjustment, Salim Bashir, Abdul Bashir. Apologies if I got it wrong. 61 Old Clinton Road, Block 6.07, Lot 39. Application BOA-22-2021. Resolution memorializing modification of one condition, number 1, of the resolution number 2023-03 for extension of time to revise plans and related documents and to obtain signature on the revised plans to September 21, 2026, and 2, condition number 12 of resolution number 2023-03 for extension of time to apply for and obtain zoning and construction permits to September 21, 2026. Version 2025-02, version 3. Anyone have any changes or additions? John?
One additional thing, this is resolution, you said it already, 2025-02. The prior resolution that's listed on the agenda for executive snow, which is resolution number 2024-11. Steve Grunberg has asked that that be tabled till the meeting on the 20th to allow more time to review it.
That's correct.
Okay.
So version 3, as far as I'm concerned, version 3 has captured any and all comments.
Okay. Anyone have any additions or comments? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Can I roll call, please? Can vote.
Chairwoman, Ms. Cynthia Schaefer.
Yes.
Vice Chair, Mr. Ursula Domji.
Yes.
Mr. Randy Block.
Yes.
Mr. Steve Farcio.
Yes.
Mr. Jim Ferrero.
Okay.
Thank you all very much. Have a nice evening.
Okay. All right.
Are we,
Moving on to the applications for this evening.
well, are we gonna adjust the people in the audience for the sure or no?
Yeah, I don't know whether people in the audience for this application, for the,
prior case that just got. Yeah, hold on, Steve.
Steve,
Steve
Steve,
I didn't,
John, I'm sorry, I didn't know, like,
Hold on a second.
if we were going to address the members of the public that we know are here for Bashir. I mean, I know we can't necessarily do anything. I don't know if you and
That's
Steve
all right.
want to
Look,
address.
I think if they're here, they should be heard if they have some issue with that resolution. Or, so why don't you have them come up to the table
Okay.
I don't know.
or up to the microphone? If they have any questions or they want to say something.
Can I just get raise your hand if you're here for Bashir? Okay, just these two.
Just, okay.
Okay. Go
If you
ahead.
want, it might be easier just because the attorney is on Zoom. If you just have a seat there and the microphone's just
Yeah.
sitting there.
That'd be great.
Just make sure that thing's working.
Can you identify
Mike?
yourself for the record?
Yes, my name is Rachel Belia, and I live in the property.
Spell your last name for him.
Oh, my
Can you spell your
apologies.
last name?
B as in boy, Ellia.
Just be
Okay.
careful with that mic, because if you're too close, it's gonna muffle a little bit, right? It's gonna
Yeah.
muffle a little bit.
Thank you for the invitation. So my name is Rachel Belia, and I live in the property abutting the resolution that was just referenced. I lived here as a resident since 2020, and unfortunately, I found out about this project about 2.5 weeks ago for the first time. I received letter of notice through kindly through Ms. Vaughn and Jeff that a certified letter was sent in 2022. However, upon researching the letter, the label was created, but it was never sent. I never received a copy of the letter, and I have the documentation from USPS that this letter was never sent, and I was never notified. I wasn't given the opportunity to voice my concerns, and as a homeowner in the property abutting this resolution, there were some variances granted that put my property and my children at potential harm and risk. And I would love to ask a few questions in related to the variances granted, please.
Can I just ask a question about when you said that you went to the post office and the letter wasn't delivered? Did they tell you what happened? Because I looked at the affidavit of mailing and there was a stamped certified mail receipt, meaning the applicant dropped the thing off at the post office, paid the certified fee, and the post office stamped it that it was mailed certified. So what did the post office say happened?
It says the label was created and it's not yet in the system.
Okay.
The label was created and it's not in the system.
Not yet in the system. They were awaiting the letter itself.
Okay. Okay. I don't understand. Let's start off with this. Taylor, can you take the affidavit of mailing out of, or Jeff, whoever has it, can you take that out of the file? And what is your address?
My
Thank you.
address is 9 Valley View Drive, Flemington, New Jersey, 08822. And my neighbor who is adjacent to my property and next to the abutted proposed resolution also did not receive notice. And she's 11 Valley View Drive.
Okay, well, we would need her to come here to tell us that, but let's just address your issue. So Jeff, is there a stamped certified mail receipt going to the Bilias at 9 Valley View Drive, according to the affidavit of mailing?
Yes,
On that receipt, there is no postmark of the green ticket. Mine is one of the only ones that doesn't have a postmark.
Okay, so hold on for a second. The green return receipts are not required. So let me just read what the municipal land use law requires.
no, I think because there are photocopies, colored photocopies of each of the certified mail receipts. When looking at her certified mail receipt, it's hard to distinguish whether or not there's a date stamp on it. I think that's what she's referring to.
Yes, all the other ones have a date stamped on it and mine does not.
Let's ask Mr. Grunberg, do you have a copy of the affidavit of mailing? Your office did this, correct?
Yeah, my office did too.
Go into a microphone.
You gotta come to the microphone.
My office did do the notice of hearings, and I'm looking to see whether I have it on my system here. I wasn't prepared to deal with this evening.
But let me ask Taylor,
We're
who
here
has
for
the original?
we're here for
Hold on.
memorializing of the
The
resolution.
original would
granted last
likely be with
night.
Steve's office. What I have in the file, that's all there is. And just as I know, I was not in this position. I don't believe I was in the position at the
No,
time.
no, you weren't. I mean, there's other certified receipts where it's very hard to see the stamp. I don't know if it was just when it was being
So
copied.
do me a
or-
favor, just out of curiosity, check 11 Valley View.
Yes, that you could see the stamp more clearly. And
Okay,
it's,
but I'm gonna ask Ms. Belia, you said your neighbor lives at 11 Valley View and didn't get a letter either. Is that correct?
Correct. And then when you look at the USPS tracking, it says that the label was created and is not yet in the system and
I
a status
understand,
update will.
Just so you understand, the tracking doesn't matter, under the municipal land use law, the tracking that USPS has doesn't matter. Green return, sort of return receipts don't matter. All that matters is that they have a registered mail stamped receipt. So if they have that under the municipal land use law, they're entitled to rely on that, and there's nothing that the board can do about that. We had this issue happen, ironically, I don't know if the board members recall, the late Jackie Clapp came in for a fence variance, and the board granted her the fence variance. And then after the resolution was adopted, or on the night the resolution was being adopted, her next door neighbor came in and said he hadn't received it, but there was a stamped return receipt. And my advice to the board tonight is, as long as that's a stamped receipt, so I'm going to ask that Mr. Grunberg, look at it in his office tomorrow and bring the original in to show Taylor and just make a good copy of it and give a copy to Ms. Balia and to the board file. Now, if that's not stamped, that's a separate issue. If that's not stamped, this thing could be, the board could reopen it. If that thing is stamped, this is, the horse is out of the barn, the water is under the bridge or over the dam and all that sort of stuff. And my only suggestion to Ms. Balia is either to file litigation, which is very expensive, or maybe she can talk to the new soon-to-be neighbor and maybe reach some sort of private accommodation with him. But there's nothing, if that registered mail receipt is stamped, there's nothing the board can do about it. It's done. And what was done tonight was a resolution memorializing an extension, just like you recognize the underlying approval came in 2022. So I think we have to wait until Steve finds that original in his office, brings it into Taylor, and we get a good copy of it, and also give a copy to Ms. Balia to see if in fact it's stamped. End of story. If it's not stamped, then we might be doing a redo. So
Thank you for that.
That's my advice to the board. So this thing's got to be put off until we see if in fact that receipt is stamped by the post office.
Can I just ask for clarification? Do you mean pretty much the processing of the application, like resolution compliance is on hold?
Oh, no, process it, but no building permit, no zoning permit or construction permit should be issued until Mr. Gruenberg brings in the original of that receipt so we can confirm that it was stamped by the post office.
Okay.
Our practice is that the originals are filed with the board. So I'll ask that that be looked for, but we scan copies and we'll look to see what we have in our office.
Yeah, because by the way, the original should be filed with the board. Now, I know this happened before Taylor was the board secretary, so I don't know. She says she doesn't have any originals in the office. She only has colored copies. But let's get down to the bottom of it. It's either stamped or it's not stamped. If it's stamped, there's nothing the board can do for Ms. Balia. If it's not stamped, then basically this application has to start from scratch.
Okay.
We'll take a look.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you for Ms. Balia for bringing it to the board's attention, but they can't take anything from you on the merits of the application until we see if it's stamped, it's over. If it's not stamped, this application is going to start from scratch, and then you'll be able to address them. I'll swear you in and everything as part of the application.
Thank you. In regards to the questions that I had, regardless of whether or not it was stamped, where would I ask that? Where would be the best place to ask the questions that I have?
I would go to the planning office tomorrow or whatever and ask to speak to Jeff, the township planner, and the zoning officer.
My only concern is that I know she has a lot of questions about engineering.
Well, there's some questions about some of the approval, but if there's any questions regarding some of the right of ways or what's a driveway versus the roadway, anything that's I can answer that. But as far as any of the other, I know that there is questions about an appeal or something. That's something I can't. Yeah, I can't.
Any legal
Yeah.
issues are not for you, Jeff. Any legal issues
Yeah.
are for her attorney, and I know
Yep.
she has one. I know the attorney.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So schedule.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you for
much.
inviting me. Thank
Okay.
you. My apologies. Then who would answer my engineering questions?
Okay.
That would be Rakesh Darji. He's the township
Yeah.
engineer. He was not involved with this project. So he'll be reviewing it for resolution compliance, but he would be answering the questions. So
And would I set up a meeting with him as well?
we can, yes.
We'll
Thank you.
have to work on that.
I
would
understand.
just highly suggest, please don't just come by the office.
No.
Just try to set up a time.
Yeah, thank you. I also have 2 small children and a full-time job, so I would not be able to spring it. I would love to plan. Who should I email? You, Taylor? Thank you very much.
No.
You may want to put your questions in an email form, like,
I put a majority of them.
Okay.
Yes,
Alright.
both of them have been reviewed. I do have some follow-up questions after reviewing the files that was so kindly shared with me. So
that
thank
would
you.
just be easier, so that probably cut down some time as well.
Yeah, take some
We
of the
could probably
legwork.
do a joint meeting.
Yeah,
So-
awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Okay. Yeah,
Now you're free to go.
thank you. Okay, moving to the applications for this evening. First application, BOA case number 24-2024. Applicant is Dennis Hughes. Location block 72.24, lot 4, 32 Rittenhouse Circle. Application is for a C variance for structure in front of dwelling on a corner lot.
That application is not going to be heard tonight due to an insufficient notice.
Okay,
Right, and that one, the notices have to be redone, and
Mhm.
I believe that Taylor's gonna
I've-
try to schedule them in for March 20th if they can get their redone notices. Is that correct, Taylor?
Correct.
But again, this is not being carried without the need for further notice. This is being rescheduled to March 20th with the need for renotice.
okay, can we talk about this in the closed session too?
Okay.
I don't think we should. It would be nice if we can fit it in.
I was going to, no offense, correct you, John. I offered him a few dates and he said he would try, but
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
that's
Well, listen,
on
there's no
his-
need,
that's
there's
his
no reason to
responsibility.
talk about that in the closed session. This should be discussed right now. Okay, you offered him another date. You try to work out the date with him. Just make sure he
Yeah,
realizes.
he'll be
he's gotta
rescheduled.
redone.
He'll be
Okay.
rescheduled with the need to notice.
Okay, rescheduled for the future with the need to notice.
Thank you. Okay, moving to the second application for this evening, VOA case number 25-2024. Applicant is Matthew Appel. Location block 79.10, lot 12, 24 Mont Way. Applications for a C variance for garage structure within 15 feet setback for accessory structures. Good evening.
Hello.
So, can you talk about the application, and what you're
Sure.
looking to do?
We just, we want to build a, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta get
I'm
some-
Oh,
out.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so, Mr. Appel, can you raise your right hand, and Jeff Vaccarella, can you raise your right hand? Do both of you swear or affirm the testimony that you will give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Now, go ahead, Cynthia.
Okay, go ahead.
We're looking to just build the garage. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
build a garage for just extra storage. You know, we have a growing family. We have 2 young kids and just, you know, it's kind of taking over. So we decided this would be the best move instead of buying a shed to just actually build a garage that would actually be, you know, add value to the property eventually over time. And we need the variance because our property line is, I believe, about 5 feet from our garage, or sorry, from our driveway. And the 15-foot variance would kind of put it into the middle of our backyard. We also, if you look at our property survey, we have a conservation variance and a
You have a
PSCNG
conservation easement.
easement, sorry, yeah, sorry. We have a conservation easement. We have a JCP&L easement as well, because there's a ravine and then there's power lines on the other side of that ravine. And then at the top of our hill that's next to the easement is our septic tank. So we don't have the ability to really build anywhere else. And putting in the middle of our backyard where, you know, we have the space for the kind of the kids to play is that's the only spot we have. It just doesn't really work there.
Quick question for you. Do you have an existing garage?
Yes,
Okay, so you have an existing garage. Is it a 1-car or 2-car?
2-car.
Okay, and you have your 2 vehicles in there, correct?
We don't use it for our vehicles, but
Well, put it this way.
we use it
If
for,
if the board granted you the variance to construct a detached 2-car garage, which you say is for storage, would you then move your vehicles from outside into the other garage?
probably, yeah, we would, yes.
And the reason I ask
Yes.
is because, right, the board just can't, just because they like you or they like how it looks, they just can't grant the variance. They need either a hardship reason or, which is called a C1 variance reason, or a C2, which is purposes of zoning are advanced and they substantially outweigh any detriment. So if you, part of your argument is C1 because the other spots, the other places on your yard don't work for you, but you already have a garage. So if you made a C2 argument, look, I got a garage, I'm allowed to keep storage in it, I got 2 cars out in the driveway. If, board, you grant me the variance to have this 2-car garage and let us have storage in there, we will move our cars from the driveway into the garage. That will give aesthetic benefit to the neighborhood. That very well could be a C2 variance. So that's why I asked the question.
Yes, that is part of the plan. And then I don't know if this would add to it. We're assuming in a few years, maybe, I don't know how long, but my parents might have to move in with us. So we may finish the current garage later and have that new garage as our garage. We don't know if that's going to happen, but you know, my parents are getting older and that's kind of part of the long-term plan.
Okay, let's assume in that case that happened, would you agree then if that happened, then you then didn't have the 2 garage spots for your car in the existing garage, that you'd move the 2 cars into this new garage if the board approves it? And again,
Definitely,
not
yes,
leave
sir.
them out in the, out so the neighbors could see them.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any other questions.
I don't have any other questions. Does anyone have any questions? Go ahead.
All right, so I know exactly what you're saying. Where your shed is at the end of the driveway, correct?
Where the garage will be, yes.
Yeah, but that's where you're going to replace the shed though, correct?
We already knocked down the shed.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay, I should know this because I live on the road.
Yeah.
I'm actually 25, but if you haven't noticed, the numbering in that
Yeah, it's
neighborhood
odd.
is
Yes.
beyond odd.
Yeah.
And, all right, so I didn't even notice that, but okay. So, but it's going to go right there, correct?
Yes.
It's going to be close by. You're going to be able to, if you wanted to, you could put stuff right there and it would take away from stuff that you would have in your driveway now, correct?
By the way,
and then-
just for the record, for Mr. Farcio, you don't own property within 200 feet of the applicant's property.
Correct. That was my next, I was going to say, just so everybody understands, I did clarify this earlier today with council that I don't have a conflict. I am more than 200 feet away. That's why I was saying that
Right.
the way the numbering is in the neighborhood is it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's very.
It's beyond bizarre. I don't know why they did it that way, but I am not, I'm way more than 200 feet, even though I'm 25 and he's 24. So, but I do know the property and I understand where where he's going to put this. And I can tell you that just looking at the drawings too, that would be the place to put it, and that will actually give you a lot more room and actually provide exactly what you're looking for in your application. So I just wanted to make sure that that's where it was. I don't have any further questions.
Yeah. And obviously, since he's not, we'll get, you're giving us, obviously, since he's not going for any variances, the height of the garage fits within the ordinance. I remember we had another garage here,
Yes.
but it had a second story.
The height is compliant. It's 1 story.
Yeah,
I don't think there could be even space for another finished area unless it,
Yeah, I believe it's got some room. I can't afford to go bigger, so
yeah,
that's
no,
just what it
it's
is.
fine.
Yeah.
All right,
I just had one comment just based on, there was discussion between the uses of, you intend on having it storage. But there's just you call it a garage, but there's there's a distinction between what a garage is and then an accessory structure. It's compliant either which way it's gonna be labeled.
okay,
So I just wanted to point that out just in case, if you were to use it as storage, it would fall under a criteria that it's 800 square feet of an aggregate number for that.
Okay.
all right, if there's no other questions, I think we have some people in the audience that would like to ask a question.
Am I actually allowed to ask or just make a statement?
Sure.
John, am I allowed to?
Who is this?
This
Taylor.
Taylor.
Oh, what kind of statement are you want to make?
What, just because you stated that you already removed the shed,
Yeah.
we're gonna need a zoning permit for that. If you didn't do it already. I can't remember off the top of my head. A zoning permit to demo a shed?
Yeah, you'll need a permit after the fact, just for a demo.
So what I'm trying to say
Okay.
is if the board were to approve this application, to make
Yeah,
that a
you need-
condition.
And
Okay,
after the fact zoning permit to allow the shed removal.
okay. If anyone in the audience has a question, please come up to the mic. And
And Cynthia, maybe not only let them ask any questions, but maybe I'll swear each person in if they can make comments also to do it in one fell swoop.
okay, so the way it usually works is that you ask, no, you can stay right there. The way it works is you come up, you can ask questions, and since there's only one witness, you can also make comments of whether, about this application. So whoever wants to come first, please come up, state your name, spell your last name, and provide your address. Good evening.
Robert Valdez, V as in Victor, O-L, D as in David, A-S-E. Address is 5 Atkinson Court, Flemington, New Jersey, obviously 08822. And I just,
Can you please raise your right hand?
sure,
Do you swear or affirm that any of the comments you're going to make will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, so you can ask questions and make comments.
Yeah, but I had a question because when we got the notice, it didn't say exactly where the garage was going to be. So, I mean, 'cause we live on the other side, but
Can someone
I'm
give
assuming
him a
that's not.
copy of the plan? Normally, if someone gets a notice, normally, you go down to the municipal building and ask to see the file. But give him a copy of the plan so we can see what we're talking about.
It's right at the end of the driveway.
Okay. Yeah, that was my main question, because we didn't know where it was going to be,
Right.
whether it was in the back or the front, so, okay.
It's literally going to be right at the end of the driveway.
Yeah,
Okay, no problem there for us.
thank you.
Cynthia, is there anyone else?
Yes, there is. He's coming up.
Should have brought the dog.
He's got a cute dog with him, so we're kind of like,
Beautiful
My
service
name is
dog.
Lawrence Dawkins.
Could you-
DAWKINS.
Well, hold on.
Can't hear
Come
you,
closer
can't
to-
hear you.
My name is Lawrence Dawkins, DAWKINS. My address is 10 Atkinson Court, sorry.
Can you
Flemington, New
please raise
Jersey.
your right hand? Do you swear or affirm any comments you're going to make in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, so questions and comments.
Just a comment, my property abuts their property. I'm at 791011.
And I wholeheartedly agree with their application and hope they get the approval to go ahead with the work. Thank
Oh,
you.
great. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Anyone else, please, sir? Come on up.
There, I'm Tarek Saleh. I'm Matt's neighbor right across the street at 31 Mott Way.
Okay, spell your
Hold on,
last,
hold on.
spell your
Spell
last
your
name.
first, for me, can you spell your first and last name?
Sure, Tarek, Tarek. Last name is Saleh, Saleh.
L
Okay.
Yep.
H, hold it. Okay, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that any comments you're going to make in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, so you have
Okay, go ahead.
questions and comments.
Just comments. I'm Matt's neighbor across the street at 31 Mott Way. We're like right across, and Sarah and I, we're good with it.
Good.
Okay.
But your address, it's 31?
31.
Like I
Yeah, it
said, I
doesn't
have
make
no
any sense.
idea what that neighborhood needs
Our
to be
other neighbor has
changed.
2 different numbers for their house.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Thank you for coming out and supporting.
Thank you.
31.
All right, I think we've gotten through everyone in the audience. And
Steve, I
think
gotta
we-
tell you, boy, you live in a very nice neighborhood.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I don't know about the numbering though. We gotta figure that out.
Yeah, Steve, talk to the post office. They're responsible for that.
It's unbelievable.
Jeff, you had something?
I just had 2 comments. Number 9, are any utilities going to be hooked up to the structure?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. And then number 10, up to the board if an as-built survey or a foundation location.
My
would be-
opinion, this is close to the property line, and the board has known in the past there's problems. You should absolutely impose number 10 as a condition, and you might, to help the applicant out, you might also want to put a condition requiring him to, get the corners
Stake it
marked
out.
with strings, stake it out.
Yeah, so, sir, I don't know if you know, we've had situations before where what we're asking for is an as-built, so that the property is marked prior to building. So there isn't.
We're asking for 2 things. The stakeout is prior to building. The as-built is after construction to confirm that it complies.
Right,
So prior to framing, you'll submit a survey just showing the stakes. The surveyor would have to come out twice.
Okay.
and all that does is it ensures that the builder that you have does the right thing and doesn't move it off, and it's in the next
So the
property.
surveyor has to stake out the garage itself, not the property, is what I'm asking. Just
The
so I
garage,
understand.
yeah, because
The
you
garage.
already got the boundary
Yeah.
survey, so
Okay.
he's just gonna focus on the garage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if it comes out to be 4.9, you would have to come back to the board. It's for protection.
Okay.
Correct.
I have to come back here again and get another approval?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Even
don't
if it's
want to do
off-
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had some, yeah,
Okay.
it's not, and it's painful,
Knock it
and
down
we
and
don't,
redo it? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
we want to make it easy for you and us.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, does anybody have any other comments, questions? Hearing none, can we close for deliberation? Anybody want to start?
I'm for the project. I know exactly where it's going. It's not gonna be an issue for anybody, and it's definitely gonna be beneficial to the property and the neighborhood. So I'm for it.
And I assume you're for it on the basis of a C2 variance, Steve?
Correct,
Aesthetics, right?
correct.
I would agree. I think it's the only place it can go. It's a unique piece of property.
As long as all the conditions are met, I'm happy with this application.
Okay. You want, no?
I think it's a good project, and I would just hope that the trees that are nearby could just be protected during construction.
Yeah, we don't plan on knocking any of them down if it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good application to begin with, but hearing the support from the neighbors,
It's nice. We don't usually get
It's
that.
nice to see people here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Thank you, everybody.
can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Chairwoman, Miss Cynthia Schaefer?
Yes.
Oh, wait, we didn't ask Jim or Russell. if they
It's
wanted to
okay, it's
deliberate.
okay. We are,
Okay.
we agree.
Thank you.
Vice Chair, Mr. Atul Dubji,
Yes.
Mr. Randy Block,
Yes.
Mr. Steve Farcio,
Yes.
Mr. Jim Ferrero,
Yes.
Ms. Lorette Cartina,
Yes.
Mr. James Miller.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Do you have a, did we give him a
It-
pamphlet?
I mean, we don't, you already have the pamphlet, but even after tomorrow or Monday, I will be sending you an email, just, relaying off the information.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure if you guys want to discuss, if you want to wait for the resolution to be drafted and adopted.
Well.
I don't
we're still- have you spoken to a contractor or anything yet?
Yeah, I put a deposit down at Amish Mike's for the structure itself. I've contacted a few
Yeah.
about the slab, but I haven't actually followed through with that until I wanted to get this locked down.
Yeah, so Cynthia, it's gonna be the standard conditions. The only condition that he really has to be concerned about is the stakeout prior to permits. But if he knows about it and he does it, I would think if the board wanted to ask the zoning officer to be able to issue zoning permits prior to the resolution being adopted, it would be appropriate. He doesn't have to make any plan changes or anything like that.
Yeah, okay, we'll be good with that? Okay, all right. And just look at that pamphlet on the back. It has things of, now that you've been approved at the meeting, there may be some other things that you need to consider.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep. Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a
You could
good
just
evening.
leave those. Yeah.
Chris,
His dog is hilarious.
So, take care. We want to move into closed session. Taylor, did you want, first of all, we'll take a break and we'll see if that room is available.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take a break for the people on the Zoom. And we'll come back and let you know if we're staying here or if we're going into the next, is there a TV in there?
Yes.
Can I ask you
Okay.
something? Is there anyone
Sure.
else in this room right now?
Well, they're leaving, but
They're
we're
leaving.
up for the application.
You want to stay here?
No. Yeah, after they leave, just do the closed session here.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine.
Can you hear everybody clearly?
Yes.
Yeah, we can, yep.
Okay.
We just
Do
ask everyone,
you-
to speak- everyone should speak into their microphones.
Okay. Did you see I sent you a drafted resolution to go into closed session? Did you want
Yes,
me
I
to read
did.
that or you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it. So here is the proposed resolution, which I suggest be adopted, to go into closed session. Whereas,
We saw the pillars, and we were wondering what that was. And you know what I said to my dad? I said, because it was right from the Dixie's place. I said, "We should ask the Raritan."
when do you want me to read the resolution?
Well, John, going on, but one of us.
You want me to read the resolution to get a
You're not
motion to go into
behaving,
closed
John.
session or not?
What?
Taylor's putting the notice on the door.
Okay. I'm going to read the resolution in the interim to save time. Whereas NJSA 10:4-12, the Open Public Meetings Act, authorizes this board to exclude the public from that portion of the meeting in which this board discusses certain matters. Whereas the board is about to discuss such matters, specifically employment matters in accordance with NJSA 40:55D-71B. Whereas this board believes the public to be excluded from those discussions, and the discussions held in closed session may not be disclosed to the public because of the attorney-client privileged nature of the discussion. Now therefore be it resolved by the Raritan Township Board of Adjustment on March 6, 2025, that the board now go into closed session to discuss for the above purposes. So someone want to say so moved?
So moved.
Anyone want to say so seconded?
Second.
Okay.
Everyone, anyone in favor? Oh, all those in favor, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Okay, just one moment. Let me turn everything off.
Yeah.
Okay.